guys, welcome to Big Sister. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I have this video that I have uploaded today. I hope you enjoy it, and please leave me some comments, any feedback if you like, and thank you for watching, and let's go. You know, there are people that can make wealth look cheap. They can cheapen wealth. They can cheapen prosperity. There are people who can come into wealth, but they make it look cheap. Money cannot buy you character. Money cannot buy you class. So when it says money is the root of all evil, it's not the money itself, but the person behind it. Because a person who, let's say, was jealous before they got rich, they're just going to be a rich person who's jealous. If they were a person who had anger issues, if they're a person that was disrespectful, if they're a person that was abusive to men, abusive to women, who abused children, who was vindictive and manipulative, having wealth is not going to change that. They're going to be a rich abuser, a rich pedophile. Did I say abuser already? And if they have certain habits, let's get to the root of what I'm talking about. If they do not mature and understand how to handle money, and if they still have a poor person mentality, they can be wealthy but still look poor. They can make wealth, they can make nice things, even if they buy it, they cheapen it because of their approach to it. It's like if someone has never had, let's say, desserts. They're not used to having that a lot. And then when they have the opportunity to have it, they just eat a whole lot of it. They overdo it to make them sick. It can cause health issues. They can gain weight. As a matter of fact, they'll eat it so much that they no longer even have an appreciation for it. Because, you know, something my grandmother used to say, she used to say, too much of one thing is good for nothing. Too much of one thing, good for nothing. That's what she used to say. Too much of one thing is good for nothing. You have too much of it. You ever had something that you really liked it? Maybe some cookies or some sort of a drink you've never had before. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then you're just drinking it, you're eating it so much that your body rejects it, gets tired of it. And because of that, you don't really appreciate it that much. You know, it loses its value. And so that is what can happen when people who have not matured and they don't understand wealth, and they get rich and their character hasn't caught up with it, and they have the poor man mentality, they'll overdo everything. They'll overdo everything. You know, they may have pieces of jewelry that's really valuable, but because they're not used to it, they'll overdo it, and they'll just have a bunch of jewelry on, which when you have on too much jewelry, it's going to detract and take away from the value. They'll overdo things with their clothes. They'll overdo even in their purchasing. They'll always do more than they will have more than they will ever be able to keep up with. They'll buy more things than they'll ever be able to really be able to wear. And they'll just get so crazy sometimes with it. They'll just begin to look gaudy and tacky and they can make something that's a fine piece of jewelry just look cheap. They can make wealth look, what is the word? They can taint it, because they themselves, even though they have walked into this wealth and they have accumulated the wealth, they're still poor in the mind. It's just like this really hungry person that's just eating everything at the table, not realizing, hey, there's no rush, slow down. So they make themselves sick, and it just looks crazy. They have their hands in the potatoes, and they have their hands in everything, and they feel like they have to scarf down everything. If you could get that image in your mind, that's how it looks with a person who has never really had money before. And when they get it, because their character has not caught up and their mind has not caught up, they will overspend their money. They'll buy a lot of things that they don't need. They'll have a lot of things that they'll never be able to keep up with. Maybe they buy a fleet of cars. I mean, some people, they do it. Some people that are truly wealthy and understand the purpose of wealth, they have a lot of cars, but they always have more than they have more cars than they'll ever be able to keep up with and drive. They'll have more homes than they'll ever really live in. But that may not be the most perfect example, because there are people who they come from old money and they have a lot of things. But I'm just talking about a specific group where everything about them, and when you see them, they make wealth look tacky. They make wealth look cheap. And you can see that they have not grown into it, because everything about how they approach it and how they adorn themselves and how even they conduct themselves. You can see people who they are wealthy, but their behavior, it's like they just walked out of a chicken coop. They haven't caught up to it. And so sometimes when you're going to get wealth in your life, it's more than getting money. It's more than getting those riches. It's more than being able to buy that nice house. Because you have people, they'll buy a nice house, move in a nice neighborhood, and they'll bring the property value of that place down, because they haven't matured, because they have to overdo everything. They have to be loud. They're not used to it. They go out and they don't understand the social circles that they're running into. Even though they have all this money, they are still coming off as poor because their character has not caught up. So sometimes people will think, when they look at themselves and they look at their lives and they look at the problems that they may have, they may think, man, if I just had some money, man, if I just got rich, if I won the lottery, I'm gonna get my degree, I'm gonna get money, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna open my business. If their character hasn't changed, and if they don't really understand how their mindset have to change, if they still have a poor man's mindset, even with their riches, they'll still be poor. So there's a lot more to accumulating wealth than having money. You also have the mindset and the character to go with it. Otherwise, you're still going to look broke and poor, even with all the richest things on you. You could be dripping with everything. And that's just the problem. Maybe you shouldn't be dripping if you're actually wealthy. Wealth is not about dripping with everything. It's not about overdoing everything. It's not about mistreating people because you are rich. It's not about talking about money so much. That's what a broke and a poor person does in character, okay? That's what I'm talking about as far as you still have the broke mindset, okay? I need to make it clear. I'm not talking about people who you don't have money, because even people who don't have money, many of them, their character is a lot better than the richest person. But what I'm saying is those who may have had a certain type of behavior while they were poor, a certain type of behavior when they didn't have any money, they often take that same mentality with their money And that's why some people will be rich today and broke in 2 years. They will have money and riches and they're still getting in trouble. They're still being arrested. They're still stealing when they don't have to. They have all this stuff that's going on because their character, who they are at the core and the inside, all the depraved behaviors, all the scars and issues that they still have going on. They did not deal with that. They thought the riches was going to cover it up. They thought money was going to do it, but no, who they are, that darkness within them, those nasty habits will come up and ruin and cause them to make decisions where they'll end up being broke in no time, or using their money and squandering it in such a way and overdoing things in such a way that despite all the riches, they're still looking for. All right, guys, for what it's worth, I hope that you guys enjoy my video, and just something to think about. All right, guys, don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye.